Okay, so this is going to be a very important video where we will be going over all the conspiracies, all the fake news. We're going to be talking about 5G vaccines, all of that, particularly in one video with all the fake news surrounding the coronavirus that we've been seeing from day one. Now, there's a lot to get into, and we have to remember fake news is spread in many different ways. It's spread also by official sources here and also by weird people pointing out different theories out there, and both of these incidences are true when it comes to the coronavirus, a new situation which obviously people are panicking. When they panic, they make a lot of mistakes, and there definitely have been a lot of mistakes. There is no denying this. The U.S. government can't even get their talking points straight, with recently Donald Trump contradicting his Vice President Pence with who will be and who will not be allowed to fly back during this travel ban. The Surgeon General contradicted the CDC, telling Americans that masks don't work, causing, of course, more panic, since this was clearly an attempt to save up more masks for themselves, since, again, masks, particularly the N95 masks, do work. The paper masks do help spread the prevention if you are sick to other people. And since people don't have symptoms and sometimes have the coronavirus, it's smart to wear a mask. Not according to the Surgeon General, which again is just another huge example of fake news. There also has been a lot of fake news from CPAC, an organization that gained headlines as a person with the coronavirus was in the green room meeting with many high-level GOP figures. And according to CPAC, there have been 2,000 screenings done around the hotel, and none of that is true. I know one person who did have a very difficult time gaining one of the tests, and he has still not gotten the results. Of course, this is an event that I recorded myself. Donald Trump also said that he is allowing the United Kingdom not to be on this European travel ban because of their great handling of the coronavirus. And with the United Kingdom having the highest infectious rates of the coronavirus, they definitely aren't they definitely aren't handling this well, especially with their chief science czar coming out and recently saying that we should have herd immunity for this. Yes, herd immunity, meaning everyone should just get sick, which is an absolute stupid, ridiculous idea, not only because many experts point out that this immunity stage is still very far out, but the fact that many medical facilities are already overrun. Even without the coronavirus outbreak, I mean, particularly here, I could talk from my own experiences in New York City. If you've ever been to an ICU, intensive care unit, hospital in New York City, it's filled up. It has all the seats filled up. This is what nurses are saying without the coronavirus. Now, with the coronavirus and more people heading towards hospitals to get treated, this leads towards a very dangerous situation where some people won't be able to get help, won't be able to get treated because of the influx of people that our medical facility is not capable of handling. This is a similar story in the United Kingdom, and that's why herd immunity is also another crazy example of fake news that the UK government is standing behind, that Donald Trump is complimenting and saying, yeah, come on in from the United Kingdom. Everyone else from Europe is banned. Also, people are saying that we survived SARS, we survived MERS. This is going to be, not as bad as that. This is going to be the same thing. And let's be honest here. When it comes to SARS, that killed around 10% of people, but people forget that it only infected around 8,000 people. When it comes to MERS, it killed 34% of the people, but it only infected around 2,500 people. Both of those are coronaviruses, and now we have a sixth strain of the coronavirus, which of course is COVID-19, and this is why we're having some people literally walk around with Lysol cans being like, look guys, see, this fights the coronavirus, this fights all of it. And people don't understand that there's many different strains of the coronavirus. There's SARS, there's MERS, and they're talking that because it was on a Lysol can that this is some kind of grand conspiracy, but no, it's a completely new different strain that should be taken seriously and is not just like the flu. That's been another misnomer being reported out there by many individuals, and when we look at this, we're getting official data that this virus can travel twice as far as the official, quote, safe distance that authorities tell us to maintain, and that it could stay airborne for up to 30 minutes. People contract this virus because it could be contracted through the air. So that fact, again, is something that is jarring and something that people need to be aware of. Again, most coronavirus patients could be contagious for weeks than first originally thought, and there's still new information coming in that we still don't know the severity and the larger impacts of this. And this is why, to me, it's always better to be safer than sorry. I always told people not to panic, not to worry, but to take this seriously and to prepare, and I hope you guys have. I'm getting a lot of people attacking me for keeping that same line that I've had from the very beginning, because I've been following this from the very beginning, calling me a fearmonger, that this is some kind of hoax, that this is some kind of 5G activated weapon that's connected to somehow vaccines. I've looked at that data and none of it is convincing. I haven't seen one convincing stat or fact or actual thing that really happened that connects 5G vaccines to this coronavirus. And if you have something that's legitimate, please send it down below, because I have not seen it. And we also have to understand, I'm not a fan of 5G here at all. I think it's a new technology that will have consequences that we don't know about, but what I'm saying is there's no direct correlation between this, and we do need to start taking this seriously, in my opinion, because the more responsible we are for ourselves, the more independent we are, the less dependent we will be on other people who are taking advantage of this whole virus situation in order to profit and gain power over you. Yes, there will be people who will be using this crisis to gain power. There are opportunistic buttholes that will use this to gain an advantage of you, and the only way to prevent that is to be self-dependent and to take the precautions. It doesn't hurt you to take precautions. It doesn't hurt you to be an introvert for a little bit. There have been long-running pandemics throughout human history that have leveled civilizations, like the Spanish flu and others before it. And it shows that social distancing does work. Keeping your space, being clean, does work. So I don't see the big loss of sovereignty and rights if we do that. And if we do that, we have a way to actually prevent the government, martial law, from this huge crisis from getting worse. And I don't see why we shouldn't be doing that. Convince me wrong. Tim Picciott, I'm sorry, I went on a rant. I didn't let you talk, but I needed to get this off my chest, because there's so much disinformation, so much propaganda. There's people saying Donald Trump has this, he's doing great, he's our God, Lord, and Savior, and no, he deserves some criticism. He has made some positive steps, but there needs to be more positive steps made in order to prevent this. And the biggest step is individual sovereignty, independence, and preparedness, which I've been preaching from day one, which I hope, by golly, people listened to and got this information out there to the people. Tim, I'm sorry, I was ranting. Your turn. Go ahead. What's your reaction to all of this?
Well, that's the first time you got my name pretty close to correct, so no needs to apologize. Happy about that. So I think to me the biggest fake news is so far is when the government's saying to people stop buying face masks and that face masks don't work. Got one over here in my hand that I did have going through the TSA Global Entry checkpoint coming back into America from Acapulco, which believe me, that makes it very easy going through if you have one of those babies on. I got asked no questions other than why I had it on, so I'd recommend people do that if they're out traveling. But this has Luke actually. I remember at Acapulco, he was talking with you were talking with Naomi Brockwell at one point, and this is back when things were starting to kick off. I remember you were kind of joking with Jeff Bullock about maybe flying into Wuhan, and then I've seen you take so for people who are saying you're just fear mongering right from the get go. You were in the beginning sort of thinking that this could be just another kind of media hoax, and but again, this is February like 14th or 12th or something, so this is a very dynamic situation. But now it does seem to be a lot more serious. Luke actually just convinced myself to not go to Disney. It actually wasn't Disney, Legoland this weekend with my family. So you know what? Yeah, it sucks that the plans have got to get canceled. I'm not going to California this weekend, but you know what? There's more important things, and I wasn't really so much worried about myself as much as I'm worried about my kids who are putting their hands in their mouth and all this other stuff going on. But yeah, I just bought some more some more food. It's food that I eat anyways, but I just stocked up on it. So I have these different meal replacement type drinks. I have them for about half my meals. So why not just get 2 months worth of it? I'm going to use it anyways. So the best time to panic is before everybody else panics, and that's the same thing we're doing with investments. Where I didn't panic when all this stuff is going on because I already had everything all set up, and that will be in a future video. But anyways, Luke, you did mention 5G. I'm not a big fan of 5G. However, I can't, and I'm not one to make excuses for 5G, but I can't see any conclusive data that I'm willing to stake my reputation on saying that this is somehow caused by 5G. Now, I do think 5G can be used as a weapon, and there are obviously malicious things that can be done with 5G, but I don't see necessarily the proof that this is somehow connected to 5G. But if it's out there, please send it into the comments. I'm not saying that it's not worth looking into. It's just I haven't necessarily seen that, and no, that's what I've got going on, Luke.
I mean, if you watch the videos that I publicly released, from January, I mean, again, watch those videos just to see the whole trajectory of this, to the seriousness of where we are right now. But again, the Chinese government's reaction to this made me take this very seriously. The cover-up, the lying, them also tanking their economy. I don't see them doing that if this wasn't serious. And of course, there's a lot of information about this possibly being a Chinese bioweapons lab. Again, that's very possible here. That's in the realm of possibility here. And there's other individuals on TV saying that without a certainty of a doubt that this came from, of course, bat soup. And again, no one here really knows for sure the full extent of this and a lot of the circumstantial evidence in this. But there was even a Chinese paper from the South China University of Technology that came out in mid-February that was deleted that talked about how this killer coronavirus came from, of course, the only level 4 bio lab facility that was located in Wuhan. So again, that is a possibility here. No one knows for 100% certainty, because how can you, with this virus spreading so much and with China lying so much about it? So again, we're getting some news about China particularly claiming victory over the coronavirus. I don't know if that's true. There's also some information coming about weather having an impact on this virus. Some preliminary studies, not conclusive studies, but some preliminary studies have been coming out and showing that this virus does thrive and is most contagious when it's around 41 to 52 degrees Fahrenheit, and when it's around 45 to 80, in between those ranges, humidity. That this is supposedly, this is only still the first beginning tests that have been coming out showing that this virus thrives in those conditions and also thrives on metals and coppers and stays there the longest. We're still getting a lot of information. There's a lot of panic. Government's contradicting itself. It's best to take all the precautions you can, because we still don't know the full extent, the full ramification, and it's better to be safe than sorry. It's better to take precautions. I'm speaking my piece on this. I know there's been some jokes privately between me and Jeff Berwick about doing all this, but I've been always taking this very, very seriously. And again, there's no reason not to, especially with the history of pandemics. I've been saying from the very beginning, look at the history of civilization and pandemics, and it is kind of terrifying. Tim, I got nothing else to say. Do you want to end it right here?
Yeah, I guess the last thing I want to say is I have a feeling that and this is all speculation, but I mean I think there's a good chance that Donald Trump ends up getting a coronavirus. Not saying I hope that happens. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying I just feel like that somehow this would be for the script of what whether the deep state gives him it or not. I have an idea that that's where things are going, and that's I don't necessarily know the full play on this, but for some reason my gut feeling says that there's gonna be a high level official, whether it's Pence or whether it's Trump, that are gonna somehow come down with this, and then all hell's gonna break loose at that point. Well, speculation.
Yeah, I don't like to speculate. Could be anything. As we know, Justin Trudeau's wife has tested positive. There's been a lot of fake news also about the Brazilian president testing positive, which now there's information that he didn't test positive. Again, a lot of fake news, a lot of panic. Best to try to meditate every day, get a full night's sleep, relax, but also try to consume your information diligently, where you actually are able to look at the sources, look at the information, and not make any rash decisions before hearing all sides of the story. This is why independent media is important, and this is why independent media has also been getting censored. This is why independent media has been getting crushed by YouTube that has been demonetizing, downranking, and making sure people can't see these types of videos. I think these videos are important, and if you do, you need to share them. If you don't share them, if you don't support this independent media organization, no one else will. I'm going to make this video for my main channel. So this is an example of what me and Tim Picciott do on the backup channel, which of course will also be linked in the description. Thank you guys so much for watching and being part of independent media. Stay tuned for more here on wearechange.org.